Hello everybody, this is Fallaron and welcome back to my little introduction into Thaumcraft on the cheap, where I show you some of the most easily procurable materials that you need to get your Thaumcraft research out of the way. Now this, I want to state this again, is not about showing you how to do the research. This is all about showing you what the easiest materials are to replace when doing thematic research. So let's get my goggles on and let's get started. Alright, last time we have left off with Metallum. Messies was the last one we did. Now we're at Metallum. That's the thing. Metallum is one of the more expensive ones, depending on what of ore you have the most of. I suggest using gold or iron. In my case, this is usually iron. And that's what it looks like, that little metal ingot. Mortise. For mortise, you can use bones or rotten flesh. Personally, I prefer rotten flesh. So you see that skull symbol? That is mortise. I prefer rotten flesh because, let's be honest, you can't really use it for much else except maybe feeding your dogs. So why not use that instead of the one that you can actually use for bone meal as well? Then we have modis. Now, don't confuse mortise and modis. Modis is most easily found in rubber. Again, you see that fast-moving man right there? That is the modis guy. You can also use boats, but boats, you have to, well, they're a renewable resource, obviously, because they're made from wood, but it's going to take a while to build them, and they do not stack, so not quite as easy to use as rubber. Then we have mutatio. Mutatio, there's only really one good source of mutatio. It's netherwort, right there. That is the most easily renewable source. It's that star with the 5 arrows pointing out, the purple one. That's mutatio. Panis. Panis is easy to get, especially if you have flax, or if you don't have flax, at least if you have a sheep farm, then you got panis. Panis is the one that looks like a bandage kind of type of thing. The white one in the middle, the little two, that's panis. Then we have permutatio. Again, you can use seeds or eggs. I personally prefer to use pumpkin seeds because I get plenty of those. Every pumpkin will give you 4, so that's kind of crazy. Permutatio, the 2 arrows, the dark green one. Then we have potentia. Now, potentia you can get from charcoal. Charcoal is basically burnt wood, so it's a renewable resource. But even easier to get it is from cocoa beans. Look at that. It's that blue hand holding lightning, I would say. So cocoa beans are easily grown. Everyone will give you 2 potentia for your research, so you might want to use those. And again, precontatio. A blaze rod is probably the easiest way to get it. Precontatio is the one with the little star. You do have precontatio in all your basic magic shards, as you can see right here. It's always in there. See, 2, 6, 2, 2, 2. But I would personally use where are we? Blaze rods, because if you have a macerator in your house, you can macerate the blaze rod, get 5 blaze powder out of it, I think it's 5, and use the minium stone if you have that installed to make more blaze rods. Or if you have a spawner, that's easy. If you don't, go ahead and use the shards. There's also, you could use, oh yeah, if you have a desert close by, you can make some chiseled sandstone. That has some precontatio in it. Let me see if I can find that for you. There we go. Let's see, chiseled sandstone. So that is there too. And what else? Ender pearls. Ender pearls have some of it in there as well. There you go. Ender pearls. Some magic. So if you have an ender, go for the ender pearls. If you don't, maybe the blazer odds are easier. This is, I guess, whatever you prefer. So, purus. Now for purus, you can use refined iron right here, if you got enough iron. I personally like to use silverwood leaves. Now, just remember, if you take the leaves of the silverwood tree down with a shear, I mean, you don't have to use the one that is closest to your house, just use any silverwood tree. Just remember, you're not going to get a sapling for it. So, you will not be able to replant if you use the shears to get the silverwood leaves. You can also use the logs if you cut one down. That's also possible. Then we have Sano. Sano can be gotten from cake or golden apples. Personally, I found golden apples easier to make. Sano is the one with the the pinkish red cross type thing. Luckily, you don't use that too often, but I found golden apples to be easier because it's just cake is just a lot of work. Then an easy one, we have Saxum out of cobblestone, that little rock you see there, the brownish gray thing, that is Saxum on the right. Another easy one is Solum. Solum is basically dirt. Here you see it, the only symbol that it has. More of a tricky one is Sonus. Now Sonus, you can either use a jukebox or you can use a note block. I suggest using a note block because it's basically some wood and some redstone, and you see the person screaming all the way on the right with the little 4 next to it. That is Sonus. Now you don't need Sonus a lot, so don't worry about it. And then we have Tellum. Tellum basically is that little sword symbol, the red one to the right that you have on cactus, for example. You can also use swords for it, but swords don't stack. I find arrows to be the easiest method, especially if you have a mob grinder. Now, if you don't, use cactus because it's renewable, and arrows probably aren't for you at that time. But if you have a place where a lot of skeletons die and drop their arrows, that's what I would use. Then we have Tenebris. Tenebris, use the ink sac for that. Finding squids, usually not a problem. They respawn easily. You get a lot of ink sacs out of them. It's that little black symbol on the right with the sun like being eclipsed by the moon or something. Tenebris. Then we continue on to Tutamen. Now Tutamen you can either make armor and use that, or you could just, here you can see it, diamond armor. I don't suggest using diamond armor. It has 67 glass in it though. That armor symbol, the bluish one in the middle of the 3 blue ones, that is the armor symbol. Much easier to get is leather. Just kill a couple cows and you got yourself some Tutamen. Then we have Vacuos. You can make chests. Personally, I like to make bowls. That symbol, swirly symbol on the right, the gray one, that is your Vacuos. Bowls are easily made. You get a lot of them out of making one, so that's easy. Then we have Venenum. Spider eye is what you want. Kill a couple spiders. And the poison symbol, the green one, that is your Venenum. Now, that is usually going to be a little tight, but it's easily replaceable because you can just, you know, if you have a spider spawner, for example, that would be awesome. But other than that, you can just hunt for it. We continue with Victus. Victus is most easily found in wheat, in my opinion, or in melons, or in cocoa, or in bread. Well, bread is basically wheat combined. So that apple symbol that you see there, the red one, that is your Victus. Get it and start researching. Then we have vinculum. Now vinculum, you need string, basically. Vinculum is that little shackle-like thing on the right. Easiest way to get it, string. So if you have flax in your world, then use flax because, or just kill spiders, one of the two things. Then we continue with visum. Visum is basically spider eyes or carrots. I suggest using carrots, just easier to get than killing spiders. Visum is the eye on the right, the gray symbol with the little 2. Then we have vitreous. Vitreous is glass. You can use emeralds or you can use ender pearls. I suggest use glass because glass is just sand, and if you have a desert, that's where you want to be. Then we have Volito. Now for Volito, either if you have a lot of feathers or if you have a lot of arrows, just use either. Volito is that little wing on the side. I usually use arrows because I have a mob spawner from which I can get this stuff. There. That was that. Those, I want to state again, those are just the cheapest things that I found that you can use for your materials. Now, if you have any other suggestions for cheap things, just let me know in the comments. And I hope this tutorial helped, and I wish you a great day. Have fun with Thaumcraft. Bye bye.